Hello, this is a ASMR fanfic reading. Now, what I want you to do is just relax, sit back, and think about reading your favorite manga, flipping the pages slowly and carefully, playing with those little booklets. Now, you just read an awesome part of a chat story that the chapter ends. You pull back the next cover and then suddenly you find yourself reading one more day! That is what reading these Senator chapters is like! Mechanical brother of mine, Blazing Peace of the North, One Piece story, whatever. Shaking off the snow of his body, Frankie descended into the cave's darkness. When the light from outside fully faded, he groped around until his head banged into something hard and metallic. He gave a grunt and then ran a hoof across the barrier. The hell? Is this a door? He pressed against it, slowly opened with a deep groan. Frankie moved through the gap and into the shielded space. He felt the dust swirl up around his hose and invaded his nose. The scent of metal, oil, and wood transported him back to Water 7 for a brief moment. Lights flickered on and danced away from Frankie's memories, replacing them with a world of steel. Even under a veil of dust, spots of workbenches still had a sheen. Sketches layered the room like wallpaper. Complex drawings with margins black with notes. Frankie honed in on the ones with the schematics. They resembled guns and other weaponries. Other sketches depicted all manners of pony, winged, horned, or none at all. Frankie shut the door and advanced over the schematics. His gaze swam around the room, picking out the pictures, scattered tools, and the half-finished adventures that littered the workbenches. He came to a stop in one particular schematic that depicted a pony with neither wings nor a horn. Sheets of metal ran up the legs, and thick visor covered the eyes. A metallic horn was marked with arrows connecting it to the pony's forehead, while translucent wings framed with silvery cables were diagrammed to its back. Well, what do you know? Looks like I found a long-lost cousin. Frankie turned his head away from the schematics. Now, if there was only someone actually here. Trotting along, passing more blueprints, passing here and there to study the ones that caught his eye. Finally, he came to a full stop in front of a massive button that jutted out of the wall. A horse's skull with crossbones running through it, blazing on the button's dusty surface. Frankie stared at it a moment before reaching towards it. Huh? Just a pirate base or something? Twice there cut down and smiled at Cadence. I was a little skeptical at first, but horse cheese is quite good. Cadence took a sip of her drink. I felt the same way, but the crystal ponies really know their food well. She and Twilight reclined in their seats, each having a bit of their tea and refilling their cups when they ran out. Above, the Crystal Empire's dome reflected sunlight into the dazzling beams that arced across the entire kingdom. Twilight took in the sight and enjoyed the warm breeze that swirled through the streets, passing over the glassy table she and Cadence were sitting at. It's always such a nice day like this, Cadence sighed. Twilight snapped her head back and frowned a little. Cadence let out a small chuckle. That's why I'm glad you could visit. It's the least I could do. Plus, no pony eating monster worms this time. They both laughed at that. Twilight then set her cup down and sat upright, both looking straight at Cadence. This also ties you to some research I've been doing. Oh, Cadence raised an eyebrow. Anything I can help with? For now, just having access to the Empire's entire library is enough. But I may need some additional help later. A smile spread across Twilight's face. It's complex, but the basic hypothesis I formed is that the crystal ponies are actually an offshoot of Earth ponies from the pre-classical era. I have a rough paper trail going off Star Squirrel's writings, but I'm hoping to find more concrete evidence later. Sounds like you've already put a plan together. Cadence tapped a hoof to her chin. What do you need help, though? I mean, the library's big, but nothing for a study monster like you. Cadence. Twilight blushed a little. Books aren't the only things I need. Finding archaeological evidence is my primary goal up here. There's probably a few relics within the Empire itself, but locating migratory routes outside is what I'm really interested in. Outside? Cadence's eyes widened a bit. Twilight, the area past the barrier is incredibly harsh, even without the threat of Sombra. Remember, the Crystal Heart was in place before he came to power. I'm sure a barrier spell and some extra security can handle whatever is out there. I know, Twilight. Kane shook her head. How about you start looking inside the Empire while I run this by Shining? Twilight groaned and fought touched the table. She opened her mouth to complain, but stopped when the table rattled under her. The teacups fell over and shattered against the ground. Nearby, the patrons of the restaurant held their tables and cracked plates zipped around. Twilight felt herself vibrating a little as dull nimble filled her ears. Then suddenly, just as the quake had started, the shaking stopped and the warriors rushed out to replace the broken materials. What in Equestria was that? Asked Twilight. An ice quake, said Cadence. Another reason I'm not too keen on this exploration idea. They're not regular or that strong, but they can cause castles to open up. Cadence. Twilight raised the hook to point towards the barrier. I don't think that was because of the ice. Cadence joined the other restaurant guests, and the ponies in the street staring upwards. Past shimmering blue illusion of a clear blue sky was a blurry white trail of smoke. Whispers filled the air around Twilight and Cadence, and both exchanged a quick look before getting out of their seats. The guard will need me at the castle, Cadence said, so the further weights took her air. Flying's the fastest way. Right! Cadence spread her wings as well, and followed after Cadence. Cadence! Twilight! Shining Armor called out upon seeing them land on the throne room's balcony. Rushed over to him, but was blocked by a guard galloping past him. All around him, ponies pushed in and out of the throne room. Shining sighed and drew closer before clasping Cadence and Twilight on his shoulders. I'm glad you're safe. Safe? Twilight's forehead creased. Shining, what's going on? The entire palace is a mess, he explained. I'm trying to get the guard in order. The rest of the staff are doing their best to stay calm. And we got civilians everywhere panicking. We're trying to tell them Sombra isn't back, but the news isn't spreading fast enough. So what? Twilight stepped aside to toss an incoming bureaucrat. What exactly happened? We're not sure. Shiny turned and beckoned them down the hallway. He spoke as they moved along. Patrol teams reported no suspicious sightings or irregular magical levels. Then a mountain range exploded. Half of the teams are deaf from the blast, and we even got some who went temporarily blind from it. If their barrier hadn't been there. Twilight's eyes widened. It just looks smoke from the inside of the shield. I know. Shining led them out the stairway and out to a balcony. But if something like that were to happen any closer to the Empire, we could be in trouble. Shining trotted over to the balcony ledge and looked down at the Empire. Directly below, the guards started across the castle. A platoon of them stood around its walls as the secretary blockaded against the waves of civilians clambered against the gates. Past that, the ponies rushed through the streets to their homes, a few guards sticking out amidst the crowds of their plate and mail. As soon as we calm the civilians down, I'm going to lead a squad to investigate the explosion's origin site. Then I'm going as well, said Twilight. Who knows what sort of historical significance No! Shiny stopped himself to the ground. Twilight, we have to investigate this as a threat, not some archaeological dig. Please, just stay here. If it turns out to be safe, then you can come. Shining! Who's more powerful? You. Who's stronger? You. Who can fly faster than you? You. And Rainbow Dash. Who has the ability to copy your magics? You. Who has the ability to beat you? Who's beaten you in every duel we've ever been in? You. Who has beaten you in every sword duel we've ever been in? You. Who is more combatively trained? You. So that means you should stay here, protect the missus, protect the people, while my heroic little sister proceeds to go out and kick some ass. That's better. Jeez, you act like I've never saved Equestria before. I'll just go in, kick the MLTW, and then come right back for brownies. Toodles! Flies! Twisted metal and fragmented rock remained where it had been once a mountain. Fires blazed across the swath of destruction, but only the larger ones continued to roar in the midst of the perpetual blizzard in the north. Snow whipped around, smothering the smaller flames while feeding the numerous plumes of thick smoke that rose up into the sky, creating a black veil over the mountain range. The large fires that still raged sent embers and ashes to the clouds, turning a snow, a sickly gray that fell to the ground. It turned into a slurry of broken lab equipment and crushed rock. Amidst the destruction, a sharp pile of scrap shifted around and fell to the sides. As a blanket hoof closed out of it, it pushed away more scrap. A loud gas came from the pile, and smoke poured out from the hole the hoof had created.
Alright,
Frankie said from within the pile.
that was definitely not a pirate symbol.
A bit of snow fell through the hole up above, and Frankie lifted a hoof to block the entrance.
Shoot! Now I'm gonna be cold again.
The sound of a shot hitting the ground sounded a metallic clang, was lost in the howling winds and the roaring flames around Frankie. The sound reached Frankie, though, and he struck around once more.
Sounds hollow. Maybe something survived that blast.
A flurry buffeted the pile. Whee! I said a flurry, not flurry heart! Whee! Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Don't mind. Don't cry. Sending a snow down the hole. Frankie grinned and advanced over to the hole.
Maybe something warm.
The dirty snow crunched under Shiny's hooves. Behind tinted lenses, his eyes scanned over the desolate landscape. The world turned white in the distance, blurring the view of the countless mountains that surrounded the Empire. It was all gray around Shining and the small band of guards that trailed behind him, all of them looking at the acid snow and the bits of rocks that cropped up out of it. Shining sighed depressedly. Can't believe I had to bribe my own sister to let me do my job. A few hours ago. Wait, Twilight, before you go to kick the MOTW's butt, yes, Shiny, look, I've already got the magic spells prepared, I've already got my mana levels set up, I even have a few extra mana potions, just in case I need to kick some ass. What do you want? I was just thinking that if you go, you won't be able to read this brand new edition of Dungeons and Dungeons and More Dungeons. How to fix up your own dungeon. Squeal! Alright, guards, before Twilight gets out reading that book, let's start fussing to investigate the monster!
Yes! Finally! Some action! Woo!
Twilight, you just realized your big brother just ran off without you. Can't talk reading! You could go right now. No reading! I swear, I think all the enemies of Equestria should know of your love of books. That way, they'll have an easy win. Ooh. I'll go get Chinese bandages for when he inevitably has to come back and we have to save his keister. Unfrozen sections of rock stuck out of the mountain range like blotches on paper. Some spots were just tiny dots in the snow, while others were the size of a stallion. Twisted pieces of iron and steel rested in the center of these large gaps, their mangled forms unnatural amidst the frigid lands. Smoke still hissed off the biggest slabs of metal, mingling into the blizzard snow and staining it gray. More smoke rose up ahead of the group, and the faint glow of fire could be seen below that. Shining slowly climbed out of the blaze's source. He and the guards winding past the metals that littered the mountainside. Cresting the slope, he raised up a hoof, signaling the guards to come to a halt. The iron and steel scattered behind them was nothing compared to the ravages sight in front of them. Scrap was piled high in the unnaturally flat gap between the mountain peaks. Sizzling fire started the destruction, scorching the scrap and what remained of the metallic floor. Shining arched his hoof forward to take a closer step to the decimated area. The guards followed him, all their eyes scanning the area. Just then, Flash Sentry led to Shining armor. Shining, sir, please, promise me this. Don't worry, Flash, Shining armor said, looking to him, his eyes narrowing. I promise you, you will get out of this alive. No. Okay. Don't worry, Flash. I promise I won't let anything bad happen to you. We will not be captured. No. That's not what I'm requesting, sir. Then what is it? I'm just saying that when we meet up with the enemy, and we're inevitably going to have to fight him, and he finally beats us, and I'm the last man standing, let him take me prisoner. No, What? Shining Armor asked, looking at Flash curiously. You want to be captured? Flash turns to Shining Armor, gets on his knees. Listen, sir, if I get captured, then you'll have to send a rescue team. Twilight Sparkle will not refuse! She'll come in and save me, and then she'll carry me off into the sunset! Is every stallion's dream to be carried off by a beautiful mare? Shining Armor sighs and does shakes and walks away, waiting for the love-struck stallion. Tell me, he said to the guard, did Sabra heavily utilize metallurgy? No, the guard answered, his face twisted with a grimace. He was actually highly against it, since he saw it as a way to oppose his magic. He paused and swirled his head around the area, tapped a hook to a steel door. Even if he had, our blacksmiths couldn't have made something this size and quality without raw materials. And that's what's bothering me. Shining Armor lifted it along a bar of steel and squinted at it. This smithy doesn't match modern Equestrian architecture either. I'm not seeing rust anywhere either. This could, a loud yelp to Shining Armor's left, forced him to drop the bar. He and the guard galloped at full speed to where they heard the sound. Arriving at the source, they found one guard emptying out another out of a smoking hole in the wall. Shining rushed over and helped pull the guard out with one last push of magic. The rescue guard breathed deeply underground before collecting himself and standing up with a lowered head. Sorry, Captain, he said. I couldn't react before the floor gave away. Darn. Shining frowned and sent a bright beacon up from his horn to the air. I still consider the structural stability. We'll have to send some Pegasi sent up. We can't use the wing spell with the heat around here. For now, take back what evidence we have. He and the three guards slowly backed away from the hole, treading cautiously over the ground, started going back the way they came. As they walked, something clanged behind them. Their heads shot up, and they looked back to see the hole had widened, and now a rigid person floor dangled under the ground. Shining shook his head and marched on. Incredible, Twilight remarked, running a hoof over the slab of steel. And the damage to the area was really like you described. It's unbelievable that this metal is in such a state. The melt into form would be normal, but to break apart like this is nothing I've ever seen before. Yeah, that's what happens when you invent something with Lego technology. I was worried you'd say that, Shining sighed. If it's not familiar to you, then it's probably not familiar to any pony. Twilight lifted her face away from the evidence that was spread across the table and moved closer to Shining Armor. You have to take me up there. Shining furrowed his brow to her. No, not until we can safely map out the area. We, strong, brave stallions with muscles, we can do it! Okay, Shining, about that, Twilight said, looking at her brother. What? Take this. Suddenly a giant fireball hit Shining and blasted him halfway across the room. Twilight smirks as he walks closer. And may I remind you, big brother, Twilight chuckles, Applejack can out-wrestle you! Easily! She out-wrestles her big brother! Easily! I have an alicorn strength of an earth pony! I can't out-wrestle you, but I do know how to do this. Do what? Twilight then reaches back behind Shining's back hoof and proceeds to bend it a little. Ow, 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 ow. I know pressure points. What do you know? Twilight asked, giggling. Shining Armor does sighs in embarrassment, realizing that, yes, his little sister is indeed more powerful than he will ever be. My badass big sister. Shining then looks up with Twilight's watery eyes and asks, is there any way you could, pretend to be caught by the MOTW so I can save you? I mean, my masculinity needs to be held. Twilight can only giggle. Well, maybe Cadence might be nice. But me? If I let myself get captured by a random MOTW, I've got a best friend who will never let me hear the end of it. Do you know what Rainbow Dash will do to me if she found out I was caught by a freaking MOTW? At that point, Twilight brought out a small little puppet that was shaped oddly enough like Rainbow Dash. Ha ha! Little Miss D.I.D. Damsel in distress! Hey, D! Hey, Dee Dee, come over here! Wait, she then pulls out a puppet that looks like her. My name is not Dee Dee. It is now, damsel! You are going to start running laps! Oh. Twilight shook her head. I do not, repeat, do not want to be mocked by my best friend for the rest of eternity because I let myself get captured by an MLTW. Thank you very much. In canon, though, Twilight bows her head to the ground, turns around. All right, Celestia, what you found then? You are right now letting your powerhouse be taken away. Twilight's host grunts under the snow. It goes under the light of her horn, and the silver of the moon high up in the sky. In silence, Twilight stuck under the mountain, her scarf and mane blowing in the howling winds. Soon the smell of burnt metal and ash filled her nose, and the snow became solid and gray. Twilight paused to look over to the destruction and shivered. And, since Twilight Sparkle is an unrepentant dork, she did one other thing she could do. The only thing that she thought she should do. Da ba 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 da 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 sneaking da 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 ba 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 da 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 da. She sang her own sneaking theme. Twilight took a deep breath and jumped up into the air, hovering a few inches above the ground. She drifted into the epicenter of the area. She swiveled her head left and right, taking in piles of scrap. The acid remains of wooden supports, and the scorched ground is still simmering in a few spots. Maybe I can get a better idea of what this was if I get a little more altitude. Twilight looked up and flapped her wings a few times. Now sufficient distance from the ground, so you could see that the structure's ground plan had at least worked around the mountain range. Its edges curved around the surrounding rocks, allowing the natural formations to act as a shield against the snow. It's almost like some pony combined Diamond Dog and Dragon architecture with this weird metal. Wow, Xenolestia, you suck! You suck at hiding things. Something glinted down below, forcing Twilight to blink. Recovering from the glare, she looked down and saw a sea of scrap wavering over in a tiny chasm in the floor. Her eyes widened as sound rose up from the gap. The bang of a hammer. Bang, bang, bang with the hammer. Zing, zing, zing with the bell. Twilight gulped and fluttered down to the ground. When her host touched the floor, the hammering came to a halt. With only the wind howling now, Twilight stepped forward, her horn slightly aglow. She stopped a few feet away from the gap and stared at the sheet that partially tried to cover it. Nails had partially stuck out of, but the thing that made her eyes widen was that the corners of the sheet were welded to the rest of the floor. Something's definitely here, she thought, bending her head close to the hole. She asked, Hello? Is anybody there? A sharp crash from below silenced Twilight. Before she could react, the ground shattered as she fell. Her wings shot out, but the left one slammed into the remains of the floor as she went into a spiral. She flattened her right wing in a panic and managed to slow her descent, so she not only bumped to the ground rather than slam into it. With a groan, she staggered to her host and winced when she tried to bring her wing back to her side. It twisted and sunk but reversed to fold. Her breath fogged up in front of her as she looked at the hole in the ceiling. Okay, nothing too bad. Her horn grew brighter. I could just teleport in.
Idiot!
A deep voice roared. I just fixed the hole! Twilight gasped at the sight of the glowing blue eyes at her in the darkness. A steel horn poked out of the light, followed by a charged hoof that crept out of the shadows. It was connected to a leg that looked as if it were made of multiple steel tubes that latched onto another. The creature belonged to stepped into the dim glow of Twilight's magic, revealing a face with all its teeth and the spiritual shape of his eyes glowing. The rest, save for a piece of steel that coated what remained of its muzzle, were burned to a black crisp. The monstrosity advanced towards Twilight, its blue hair swaying back and forth like supernatural flame. But she bent her knees and led her horn up. A blinding flash filled the area, forcing the creature to stumble and grope the air. Twilight grated her teeth and sent out another blast of magic. This time, unleashing a wave of lavender aura that threw itself over the creature and wrapped it up. It struggled and caused the spell to shudder. It managed to hold, and the creature gave a dejected sigh. What? Frankie's not magically going to break out instantaneously? What? Twilight's not going to cower like a little bitch? baby in front of Frankie. Twilight's not going to scream like a little girl and run away crying. You're actually going to let her do something badass. Bravo. Bravo freaking Fick. Bravo. I am so pleased as punch. You actually remembered what Twilight could do. Bravo. Bravo. You get a long, cold stare of silence.
Ugh. This week is definitely not super.
Good. You can talk. Twilight huffed sweat running down her face. This will make things easier.
You let me go, you stupid pony!
The monster grunted.
It isn't bad enough you broke the ceiling. Seriously, I'm freezing my butt off now because of you.
Well, maybe I could get you to a warmer location if you answer my questions. Twilight said with a small grin.
Fine!
The monster gave a harsh snort.
Don't think I'll be much help, though.
Twilight's grin widened. Having something living is real help. Now, first, I need to know if you're dangerous or have any more of whatever you used to blow up the top half of the structure.
I don't know! Look, I didn't mean to blow it up, especially since it burned off most of my fur. I just wanted someplace warm to stay until this damn blizzard blew over.
Twilight blinked. Twilight's eyes widened and the spell suddenly dissipated. The monster fell down to the ground and let it down groan. Twilight rushed over and helped it out. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I thought you were a monster. I didn't know you were a pony. It's a miracle you're still alive. We need to get you treatment. Now.
Hold it.
The pony pushed Twilight back away his side.
Look, it doesn't hurt too bad. I'm really getting tired of all this pony business. I just want to get a better look at the slab before I head back to my friends. Maybe get some soda along the way.
But your skin is gone for Celestia's sake! Twilight shouted.
How about that?
The pony raised a hoof and pointed to the darkness. Far off to it there was a faint glow.
This place might have some stuff to deal with that, but there's no food left and not a drop of cola. The cold isn't helping much either.
Twilight tapped her chin. Maybe we can work out a deal. You show me around this place and I'll bring you stuff up here. She glanced to the side. Taking to the Empire might have some issues. The ponies are a bit suspicious of shadowy figures that come out of chasms in the earth.
Again, lucky me.
The pony turned and shivered. Then watched a dim glow.
Well, come on. At least we can get a little warm.
Twilight followed after him. She watched each step he took. Assuring the way, the metal coils, springs, and pistons moved in place of the muscles on his legs, stomach, and back. Even his tail was steel, a bulky angular piece of metal that swung back and forth along each step. Wait, are you a cyborg pony?
Why, yeah, I am. Look, a little shocked, are you?
Shocked? I am so excited! I mean, come on, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Williams, you are a cyber pony. I mean, my gosh, what type of bells do you use? What type of engine field do you use? I mean, you know, how are you able to construct it so well? Are you connected with nerve endings? Oh, of course, you're connected with nerve endings. How did you manage to do all this? Ooh, you got weapons! Oh my god, gosh, I can't believe you're actually able to construct weapons so easily. Did it take a long time? You say any type of cybernetics hit enhancement chips on there? Next to Twilight, spinning about 1,001 questions were quickly fading away as he rapidly spoke like a freaking chipmunk. It was then Twilight started to notice the rest of the room. It was filled with workbenches and boxes and stuffs with what looked like rolled up sheets of paper. This made Twilight salivated.
Awesome, isn't it? Don't blame ya. There's some pretty crazy stuff down here.
I know. Twilight shivered as she proceeded to stick her tongue out and lick her lips. Oh my gosh, she said, trying to wipe the drool that was trembling down her cheek. She just wanted to. If it didn't know any better, you could have sworn she saw the most sexiest thing alive as he stared lovingly at every single piece of object and tech that was in there.
Yeah, I know. Well.
What do you think they were building here?
I don't know, but they're all miracles, at least by today's standards.
No, miracles nothing. A lot of this tech are made by gods. You know, I really need to get you some food.
Later. I'm basically sticking around here. Now, see, I want to get to my friends, but I need to patch myself up for a bit.
Uh-huh.
You see, despite how much distance there is, this place still gets news.
Frankie dragged a paper on his hose and held it out to Twilight, so she could see the bipedal creature on the front page. It was practically covered in bandages, save for the red vest. His right claw pinned his held a straw hat over his chest as the creature giving his condolences to something.
This thing changed everything. This guy here, my captain.
Twilight's eyes twitched again. You know, I just realized that's another thing that this version of Celestia wouldn't tolerate. The moment Twilight mentioned anything about hands or her adventures in the human world, I half expect her to look at Twilight and call her Abomination! Monster!
Destroy it!
I would want Twilight dead. That is the type of Celestia you have presented, Vic. You have presented one that I'm pretty positive would have tried to destroy the mirror, or at the very least, bring Sunset back by her tail and kill her! Yeah, that's how I feel about this Celestia. Thanks a lot, story. Thanks so freaking much. I can't even hope that you'll give me something good for it without thinking that sooner or later, Celestia is going to ruin it. Now, maybe you can make it up to me by giving me some real Celestia, but until then, I'm not seeing it. All you do is just give me a Celestia that I'm pretty positive would be trying to burn and make everything her triangle dictatorship. Sig Heil! Oh, and by the way, I'm surprised Twilight's not saying, oh, this isn't crazy. I actually did go to the human world once. Or, oh, your cat is human. You see, some of these shocking things about humans or pirates for Twilight from now on, now that she's an Alicorn at this point in the story, completely nulled, completely removed. Because by now, Twilight will know what the human species looks like. Well, it sounds like you want to get back home, so I can let out if you could distance.
Such as...
For one, Twilight horn lit up, and the rug lifted off the ground, draping over herself Frankie. Please keep that on. I can't focus when you're looking like some ghoul or out of a horror novel. Second, you have to promise me that none of these weapons can never become public. Technology disadvantage can tear Equestria apart. Wait a minute, what is this? A mega spell? Better keep that intact. And thus did Frankie lead to follow Equestria. Yep, my rule for when I hate a fanfic still applies here. One Piece becomes followed Equestria.
Frankie's eyes sharpened underneath the rug. Deal! I know just how much trouble this stuff could cause in the wrong hands. Hooves.
Twilight glanced again at the wall of the blueprints. Something could really help, though. This wasn't exactly the archaeological find I was looking for, but... Twilight! The door flew open of his senses and went flying towards Frankie. She jumped off and dodged it at the last second before tumbling to the ground. In the meantime, Rainbow Dash appeared, cracking her knuckles and growling, her tail raised up. Applejack had her eyes narrowed as she looked around. Pinkie Pie brought out a giant hammer. Fluttershy hid behind Rainbow Dash, but her eyes narrowed, ready to take on whatever it was right behind him. Rarity had her sword out. All right! What tarnation happened to you? Who kidnapped you? Where did you go? Yeah, whose butt did we kick? Dash said, slamming her hose together, ready to kick ass. Twilight could only sigh and face Huff as he realized Shining must have told Celestia who told her friends, and their friends probably hopped the first Canterlot Express to the Empire to save her. She sighed and said to herself calmly, I've got the greatest friends in the universe. Shining, meanwhile, went over to her and picked her up and hugged her. I told you not to go. Think Equestria's cadence had good enough sense to say goodnight to you. Gah! Frankie roared. The essence of the rug had fallen into the fireplace when Frankie had dodged the door. The flame now covered the entire back of the rug. Frankie darted around the room to get the burning skin off. Was now tangled his legs. Shining aimed his horn as Twilight screamed into him to calm down, but still fired a shot, only for it to miss and start ricocheting out the walls, adding to the pandemonium. Suddenly, that panda started to dance. The two became tangled in a flaming ball of limbs when Frankie's blackened face pushed close to Shining armor so he could get a full view.
Someone get some water! I'm on fire! Ah!
One of Frankie's toes flailed to his right. Shining was about to fire another shot in defense. It struck Shining square in the muzzle, and his body went limp. Frankie tumbled off at him and burst outside the room, still blazed and howling like something straight out of Tartarus. Outside, the small squad of guards that Shining had brought with him laid eyes on the monster and immediately fell back, none of them even wishing to get near it. One such guard, Flash Sentry, pretended to be badly hurt and hoped that Twilight would come over and help him. Shining's Flash Sentry smiled as he held his right foreleg in pain, moaning in agony, and then a pair of gentle hosts proceeded to bandage him up. He looked down and sighed as he saw Fluttershy helping him. Fluttershy looked up and asked, Is there a problem? No. Flash sighed. So much for unrequited love. The Legend of the Blazing Beast of the North would later become a renowned campfire story throughout Equestria. Luna petitioned to have it banned due to all the nightmares it caused. 2 years later. A lone ship anchored in one of the many small waterways that crisscrossed between the massive striped mangrove trees that rose high into the sky. Bubbles rose up all around the ship, their reflections dancing across its lion masthead, a shiny coloring that covered its hull and sails. A woman in a sari dress and long raven hair stepped up to the ledge of the near ship and smiled at it. Sonny, Robin said, I'm glad you're safe. One of the Sunny's doors creaked open, and out stepped a hulking figure. He wore a familiar Hawaiian shirt, but it was now at least 3 times larger to accommodate his orb-like shoulders and square forearms. In place of a curvy pompadour, Frankie now displayed a shaved head, despite retaining predominant sideburns. At the sight of Robin, he grinned and flexed his arms together, forming a star on his combined forearms. The accent also lifted up his shirt, revealing twin tattoos of a crossed hammer and wrens on both legs.
Well, Frankie called down, Archaeologist extraordinaire Robin.
Frankie held his pose at the top of the ship's rails in a moment's silence. A small hand touched him on the side, and he turned to look at the young woman behind her. He had barely made up to his waist in height. I think a simple hello would have worked, she said while scratching the back of her lavender hair. Robin mused. Frankie, are we going to be getting a new crew member? Frankie let out a loud sound of laughter, before giving the girl a pat on the back of his enormous hand.
Quite the opposite. Twilight here might be a rival of ours someday. He's just seen the ship she and her friends made. Honestly, makes me a little jealous he got to hang in shipbuilding so fast.
Twilight blushed a little. Applejack is the one who really knows how to build it, and Rarity is the only one that can make it look nice. I can only trust the numbers to make sure everything goes in the right spot. You should give yourself more credit, Robin said, a smile appearing on her face. A ship takes all its crews to make it work right. From the stories I've heard, it sounds that way. Twilight turned and looked up at Frankie as her head began to glow. Well, thank you again for the tour. I'm going to check up on everybody now. It sounds like things might get a little crazy, so be on guard. There was a flash as translucent wings spread out Twilight's back, and she jumped into the air. She waved as she floated up and away from Sunny, while Frankie and Robin waved back. See you in the new world someday! Twilight called out. Don't think Rainbow Dash doesn't want the One Piece. Ding! You better get a good head start!
Ha! Frankie said. See the rest of your little crew. Just try to keep up with the new and improved Thousand Sunny!
To the new world. This chapter's decent and all, and Twilight gets more of a role and sees far more in character since he has been the entire freaking story. There's just one teeny tiny little problem I have with this. And of course that is, it once again follows too much with the manga. It follows it straight afterwards. Though granted there are some little differences. Like saying Twilight actually wanted to help and actually being smart. But it still feels like this is just a retread of what happened in the manga. Again. Its only purpose is to follow that formula. Still, better than what we've been getting, right? Don't worry, guys. The plot starts up again next chapter.